What's up, y'all? Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you for joining me today. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. As always, if you could, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and make sure to leave a comment if you'd like to enjoy this video and this type of content. Today, we are going to talk about a guy who had a strange feeling because he was on a couple of dates with this woman and he sensed that something was a bit off. And he said he listened to his intuition and come to find out he was right. So apparently he went to social media, aka Threads, to talk to some people for some advice and so on and so forth. And I don't know what the post was before that, but apparently he was right to feel anxious and hesitant. So I'm going to go ahead and read what he stated. Basically, long story short, the woman that he had been gone on a couple dates with, seemed like things were going well, ended up ending things with him because she ended up going back and reconnecting with her ex. And guys, this is just a story, just to let you all know that it's very important to, number one, make sure that you ask the question of how long has it been since an individual has broken up with that person, because they still might have feelings if it's hasn't been that long. And also, number two, to make sure that you are healed before you go on and try to date other people. You know, this is why I'm not a firm believer in being friends with your ex or being somewhat connected to your ex for those very reasons. But we're going to get into it. So, basically, by the way, his name is Thinking Out Loudly. Shout out to him, _ he says, so y'all remember when I came to y'all for advice about the person I was dating? I had sensed hesitancy and began to feel anxious and nervous. Well, it turns out that might not have been anxiety at all. It may have been my intuition. I've never heard a guy use my intuition before, but he says she finally spoke about things and I was right. So let's get into it. Text message reads as follows. Basically, he says, okay, that's fine. And I guess prior to that, she said she needed to talk to him about that or whatever the case may be, or that things were not working out, whatever. So she goes on to say, to not dance around the matter, someone from my past has come back into the picture and we have been spending more time together. I feel that it's unfair to you in this situation. I should have talked to you about this when we got together the last time, but I just had so many other things I was still processing. So, I've been there before, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys, both my fellas and my ladies, have been there before as well, right? To where you talking to this person, and it seemed like things are going great, and then all of a sudden somebody just backdoors their way in somehow, some way from the past. His response is simple, straight to the point. Love that for you. Best of luck to y'all. Very respectful. She says, you made me feel seen, and you were there to always listen. I appreciate you being there for me during one of the hardest times. Your compassion is a breath of fresh air. Selfishly, I don't want to part ways with you, but I know that's not realistic. I really hate this. Well, at least she knows that this ain't going nowhere. And they can't even be friends at this point. And you know what? I do respect her for that, because a lot of people won't be open about that and still try to hold on to them. And that's not right. So his response, very mature. He says, if you focus on what you don't have, you'll miss what you do have. Not sure what this man is delivering for you, but it's clearly something you truly desire / want. Be present in that. Be well loved and live your life. No regrets. And I'll say that was very mature of him. Just for the simple fact that, to be honest, a lot of people wouldn't have responded, would have just blocked him. You know what I'm saying? And that point and simple. And if he would have did that, he would have had every right to. But he just said, you know what? No, it's cool. It's cool. But just learn to appreciate what you got. So he responds, not in the text message, but responds on the thread post. And he says, this ain't no sad post. I don't rest in sadness. I source from abundance. There are plenty more options out here for me. That's why it's important for you to have an overabundance mindset. This was an encouraging experience because I showed up as I desired to, how I wanted to come across. I did also, my intuition is strong as, you know what? I have to focus on honing that skill set, learning to identify my intuition and my anxiety. That was the purpose of this encounter. Don't get me wrong, I really care for this woman, but this clearly was a lesson for me. Also, I feel the need to say this as this post takes a life of its own. This isn't a me versus her thing. She's not the bad guy, and I'm the unsuspecting victim, quote unquote. I actually still care about her, and I'm sure she feels the same. But we weren't meant to be. That's it. Also, this is about intuition, integrity, and trusting self. Also highlights how non-competitive and seamless authenticity can be in dating. Speak your truth, accept their truth. All right. So, yeah. Let me go ahead and fix this real quick. My computer's acting weird. But I respect that. And I really respect the fact that, again, you know, he was being real. He was being honest. She was being honest, which I do respect that. She didn't allow the situation to carry on. I mean, I'm going to be real with you. It sounded like he was the nice guy, placeholder, quote unquote, if you will, if you want to put it that way. And she was just, you know, he was the safe option. You know what I'm saying? I've talked about that on this channel before. And, you know, the one thing I will definitely give to the guys, he recognized low-key that he was a safe option and was like, yeah, let me go ahead and address this. Now, I don't know how the conversation went about to start off with, but like I said, I think both individuals handled themselves very well. I think he was very respectful of her decision, which I said that in the most recent video. Always be respectful when somebody wants to end things with you. It just sucks that somebody else was kind of making their way back in the picture. And again, it just goes to show that you should not be trying to date other people if you still have feelings for somebody else. But let's go ahead and read some of these comments and see what they say. So Reborn_Savage91, love that name, by the way, says, way better than me. I would have stopped texting after the best of luck to y'all text. And his response was, bruh, I had to tussle with the urge to speak from an ego-driven space. LOL. I choose to lean into my core values, which is compassion, grace, and kindness. You know what? I respect that. I really do respect it. But I think either or wouldn't have been wrong. If you would have stopped texting afterwards, that wouldn't have been wrong. If you did what you did, that wouldn't have been wrong either. It's all about preference. I think both of them were the correct way to go about doing it. Delisha_Joy says a lot about how mature you were about this entire situation. I also hope you blocked her. Oh, because she will circle around at some point. His response to that was, honestly, I hope she doesn't, because it wouldn't be the same for me. I'm not going to say I wouldn't be open to it, but what I do know is that my energy would be severely different, which wouldn't bode well for any space we would potentially hold. Which is very true, because I'm going to tell you, most guys and ladies, I'm going to just be real with you. Most guys in this particular situation, if she spent the block, he would probably only stick around with her for fun stuff, if you catch my drift. So, yeah, that probably wouldn't be a good idea. And even if he is a man of integrity and he not about that life, it still wouldn't bode well, because feelings wouldn't be the same. I don't think you would be able to connect. So, yeah. Atlanta_SC, he says, this is why I don't even waste my time. They say they want a good dude, but when a good dude comes, this is what happens. And they be like, you are too good to be true. They don't even believe you for real. I'm not saying all women are like this, but 90% are. I wouldn't say 90% of women are like that. But, I mean, there are a lot of women out there that are like that, unfortunately. And this is why genuine desire is very important. I've talked about that millions and millions of times before. You got to find you a woman that's really into you as much as you're into them, if not more. And his response says, I get you, bro. I truly do. She wanted to say how amazing I was, and I told her I appreciate it, but I'm kind of tired of hearing that while being left. I choose to actively rest in a space where I feel like women aren't ready for me. That can't be true. If I'm ready for her, she'll be ready for me whenever she is. and I get what he's saying, and I definitely agree with that, because yeah, once again, you got to find you a woman that's going to reciprocate that behavior. _Kerma Honey, she responds and says, the way you handled this is top tier behavior. He said it felt good to extend grace instead of having a knee-jerk her reaction. Roxy Monique says, I like the fact that you didn't just leave her on red and closed it properly. He said, I don't like loose ends and confusion at all. Same here. I'm the same way. Brookie.32 says that intuition is a dangerous thing and I hate it, but it's the protection. We also have to ensure that we're not getting hurt. I respect her from at least telling you. She could have just continued to be selfish and led you astray. This is where damaged people are formed, and I love the response you gave her as well. And like I said, I know a lot of people are going to say what they want to say on this post, the responses, but I do give her respect. She was very straightforward. She was very honest, and she could have kept, going for broke, if you will. His response was, to be fair, I had to force that out of her. She didn't just offer this up. Oh, okay. Here's where it gets interesting. I do appreciate the clarity. Intuition is, you know what? Because it can counteract with what you think you know, causing confusion within yourself, making you second guess. That's a dangerous dangerous piece. I'm going to focus on properly identifying my intuition so I can trust it in myself more deeply. I got used to guys saying intuition. Guys, do y'all normally say intuition? Comment below, let me know. So she responds to that and says, LL, well, never mind, I take back my compliment. That if she didn't willingly give it up. But I'm still glad she had clarity. That is the tricky part of dating, is we never know truly if a person is healed from a past situation. And that's why I said, if you're not healed, you don't go about doing it. Let's read just a few more. Empress _to my king says, your response is very mature and made me realize I need to grow up. Because when I was reading her text message, I low-key called her every name in the book. I even swung at the air. She out here wasting folks' time till she get back with her ex. I don't like her. Anyway, your response was perfect. Oh, snap. Yeah. So we got some ladies that are on his side. Fear Street 9478 says, I'm glad she was honest